One of the most important questions in all Florida probate is how long does probate take? And the reality is it takes a long time. There are certain timelines built into the statute, and that has to do with publishing to creditors and these other things. But the reality is there are a lot of delays occurring in probate, and those delays are caused a lot by attorneys and procedures and practices that aren't pushing these cases along. Now, there's one particular judge in this state that is dragging lawyers into her courtroom, and she's saying, Mr. Widener, why is this case dragging out? It was a wake-up call that I got years ago, months ago, and it was very unsettling. I sat there in that courtroom along with lots of other lawyers, lots of lawyers that had lots of gray hair and been doing this for a long time. I remember one in particular. She drags up this lawyer. She says, Mr. Smith, you've been doing probate longer than I've been a judge, longer than I've been a lawyer, I think she said. But the point was, this was a guy who's been along for a long, long time. And probate lawyers are not used to being drug into court. These are people largely that are used to kind of sitting in their office and pushing papers along. And I can tell you, it was a very unsettling experience. It was a very unsettling experience for every lawyer that was in that courtroom because this judge was holding lawyers to account. And I can tell you, as I drove back across the state, I immediately got my entire office on the phone and said to them, we are not going to have me drug into that courtroom again. We are going to listen to what this judge has said, and we are not going to accept what some of these other lawyers are saying. Well, she just doesn't understand. That's the way probate works. No, that's not the way probate works. And so from that moment forward, we have done everything we can in this office to move that case along, to tickle the client, to demand documents out of clients. And that's what I want to address here. One of the biggest problems in probate is that it's difficult for the client, the personal representative, to get documents and to get paper along. But I had another wake-up call, and that was from another lawyer, and the lawyer explained to me this. Look, the personal representative is entitled to a fee. By statute, the personal representative, who's a person doing some of the work, grabbing documents together, they are entitled to a fee. But, this lawyer explained to me, they're only entitled to that fee if they do their job. So you shouldn't just take it as a matter of course that personal representative, that client's going to get that fee. So when you got judges that are dragging lawyers into the courtroom and holding lawyers to account, and when you got other lawyers and people that are looking at this deal of the amount of money that a personal representative gets and saying, hey, you're not entitled to that fee unless you're really doing your job, that is a wake-up call. So, ladies and gentlemen, people in this state, we're going to listen to what the judge is saying. She's saying move these cases along. There are timelines in the rules and in the statute which demand that we move things along. And in this office, we're going to prepare you from the very front end that you are going to do your job as personal representative, as client. You're going to get this paper together. Now, we've got some special tools that have been placed into our toolbox as a result of what this judge did. And that toolbox that we went out and explored and at great expense and effort allows us to gather some of the documents and expose and drag in things that we didn't previously have access to. It's a really important step forward and advancement that comes as a result of the judges making us do our job more efficiently, more effectively, because ultimately we're in the job of serving clients. Our responsibility to the court we take very seriously, and moving these cases along very quickly is something that we're always going to focus like a laser on, because ultimately that's what's in the best interest of clients and the communities and the courts that we serve.